Hey fellow Vault-Wearers, it's Angry Turtle, and today in this guide we are going to cover Lever Action Rifle. Everything you need to know about this particular weapon, including this name legendary that is accessible through a plan and crafting. Let's maybe start from the Soul Survival, how to unlock it. Basically, you need to do daily ops and you have a chance to drop a plan for Soul Survival, and after that you'll be able to craft it, and as you can see, it comes with unique skin. Unfortunately, this skin is not available to be installed on any other weapon. Legendary effect cannot be changed, therefore if you want to use lever action looking like that, your only choice is to use this particular set of legendary effects, and as you can see, those are not optimal. Like damage versus human, damage versus aiming, okay, but that's only one part that's okay. Luckily, this weapon is powerful enough that even this variant will be okay versus most common enemies you can find. Now, how you can get the plan for the weapon, like a base lever action, you basically can visit Lewisburg Station and buy the plan from in there. There is more places where you can buy it. I'm pretty sure you can buy it inside White Spring Resort from one of probably responder vendors. But yeah, Lewisburg Station is the one I know for sure that do contain the plan. And now about the modifications and plans for those modifications. You will get them from scrapping regular lever action rifles. After you learn the plan for lever action rifle, you will find it after machine guns under the name short lever action rifle. I should probably mention in here that plan itself is called just lever gun. Then it's odd naming, but you will figure it out. You need to buy this particular plan and then you craft it as short lever action rifle. The cost of crafting, the lowest possible level 25, but we are interested in max out level 45, is similar to all other weapons. Basically a lot of materials to craft a single one. Therefore, if you need to scrap a lot to unlock mods, it will be rather costly. You can as well find this weapon on bigger enemies, high level creatures like behemoths, scourge beasts, and so on. Then you can get them for free, but not in the quantities you need. Now about possible modifications for this weapon and what's good. First, the receiver. You have basically like 3 options in here that are valid and good choices. Prime receiver, if you'll be targeting mainly Scourge Beast and Scourge. Hardened receiver that do offer the same damage as Prime but use regular ammo and no bonus damage versus Scourge-like enemies. Plus cheaper, as you can see. Those receivers are not expensive. Prime receiver do require Steelbook Fluxes and Gunsmith rank 5, compared to hardened receiver without any requirements. And finally, one more, hair trigger receiver. It's tricky one. It says that it improves fire rate. It doesn't look like it do anything for the fire rate, but it does lower action point cost in VATS. Therefore, if your main target is cheap shooting in VATS, can be an option, although I usually go for hardened regardless. Next, under the barrel, the best option will be a line long barrel, as this will reduce AP cost in VATS and have overall really good accuracy and range. Therefore, it's good for almost everything for this weapon. About the stock, I would consider here 2 options. Forceful stock offers great durability of the weapon and reduce AP cost. A line stock offers better accuracy, reduce AP cost as well, but not as much durability on the weapon. Therefore, both are a good solid options. Other options of the stock unfortunately do not affect VATS. What's not good if you plan to use VATS. True stock do offer really good hipfire accuracy if you want this weapon as a hipfire gun, although there are better weapons for this purpose. Then we have scopes. Of course, if your priority is VATS, then you want this reflex sight as it greatly reduces AP cost in VATS. Otherwise, whatever feels good for your eye. Like, all the scope options are purely subjective to a user, therefore I cannot advise you too much, apart from the fact that reflex sight reduce AP cost by quite a lot, and others other sides do not. I mean, either reflex side, there are two. And finally, we do have suppressor option. Compensator is not recommended as it's not a suppressor. It reduces the range. Not much advantage of using it. Then either suppressor or no muzzle if you don't like to go stealthy. There are as well skins for the weapon. I don't have all possible skins unlocked, but you can see there are options. There is way more. I do believe that there is way more available at some point in Atom Shop, and they usually come back from time to time. And if you want to talk about stabilization for aiming down the sights, you should know that instead of trying to get stabilized modes on your weapon, you can put stabilized on your arms. If you put this modification on both arms with your armor, you don't need to hold breath to have extra stable aiming. I will show you. Now I aim down the sight and you can see super stable. There is no movement and I'm not holding my breath. I can still hold my breath, but it doesn't do anything. I can press out. Nothing happened because I'm fully stable already. Then if you want stable aiming, stabilize on your arms is an option. And now the ammo crafting costs. Those are really low. As ammo is common, you are using 45. You shoot single bullets, therefore you will not unload who knows how much ammo. The crafting cost per standard package of 12 rounds is 3 gunpowder, 4 lead, 10 steel. That's without any perks. Of course, it can be boosted to be even more efficient from crafting. About the prime variant that you find under Ultra Sight ammo, 45, you will get 48 rounds, 1 pure cobalt flux, 6 lead, 4 gunpowder, 15 steel, 1 Ultra Sight. Therefore, not very expensive either. Plus, you will boost it with your perks, you will get much more ammo. And now quickly about stats on the weapon, and what you can notice first, the fire rate is actually affected by legendary effect faster fire rate. Surprisingly not affected by receivers, no one can explain that of yet. With perks and at low health you can expect around 200 damage per shot, and that before applying all the stealth bonuses, VATS crit bonuses. Therefore damage is really good, but that's low health spec for the weapon. The weapon that I'm showcasing it on is anti-armor, therefore damage on paper will be higher with bloodied, although effective damage on enemies bloodied or anti-armor at low health will be very similar. I will talk a little bit more about legendary effects while showcasing those weapons. About the ammo capacity, unfortunately, it's only 5. Therefore, yeah, there is not too many bullets in your weapon. 5 and you need to reload, but you can reload 1 at a time. It's a cool mechanic, different from other weapons. The range is really good, close to 200 with suppressor equipped. The weight is not too bad. It's not a very heavy weapon. What is good, the accuracy is great. I would say it's superior to a lot of other weapons. Really, if you care about accuracy and low cost of ammo, it's probably the weapon for you. It feels really good as you use it as well. I will probably just jump in and show you how this weapon works. And now we are just outside the Westech. First we'll be using a weapon with a scope, anti-armor variety, to show you how effective it is. First, let's go for a body shot. You can see it's not bad after follow-through trigger. With a body shot, you are able to kill in 2. If you get a headshot, it's close to killing with 1. Then that's really good. If you miss, unfortunately, the fire rate is not great. Level 60 almost. Weaker enemies than super mutants will die in 1 shot, although enemies like super mutants with a lot of health most likely will need to shoot twice. Even with nice low health build, you will probably need to shoot twice. As you can see, even with a headshot, it's just slightly too weak. It is possible to boost this damage slightly more, but yeah, it's unfortunately slightly too weak. As you can see, hipfire accuracy is nice. Even with the modification I do recommend, it's not fully spec for that. About the perks, I should mention in here that Ground Pounder is working on all type of rifles, including a single fire rifles. Therefore, accuracy is affected by this perk that I do have equipped, and reload speed is affected by Ground Pounder. Therefore, this perk is a perfect synergy. By the way, those are all other perks I'm using at this moment. And I forgot to equip Adrenaline, then I will fix that now. Of course, if you can equip max out Adrenaline, it will help you out as you have a chance to actually start one-shooting super mutants with full stacks of your Adrenaline. Now, the best legendary effects for the prefixes, as I was saying, Anti-Armor, Aristocrats or Blooded, those are great. I have Anti-Armor Blooded in here. For the second star, faster fire rate is good, is actually working. More damage while aiming is good. If you are using VATS, VATS accuracy or VATS damage will be good for the second star. And for the third star, probably the best is less action point cost. Although in some scenario like here when I have 2-shot and explosive, breaks 50% slower is not a bad idea, and this combination 2-shot and explosive is valid, and I will show you in a second as well. But 2-shot by itself is not, therefore if you have those two combined, it is good, just 2-shot is not really recommended. Now, usage in VATS, especially if you have less AP cost, you can see accuracy is great. And if you take a look on the AP cost, what I'm shooting, it is on the low side, especially for the single fire weapons. As you know, automatic weapons, it's a different story because automatic weapons do have 50% AP cost reduction just for the fact you have auto receiver equipped. It's not the case with single shot weapons, but they do quite well with all those modifications I recommend. So you can see the reload is insanely fast with the perk Ground Pounder. And critical is a one-shot kill, regardless what you fire on, how hard the enemy is, the critical is very powerful and it will be able to one-shot almost everything. Therefore, VATS is still #1 use case for those weapons. And now, about the 2-shot explosive. On paper, really good damage. In practice, it do not translate to be so much higher than other variant. It's not twice as powerful, but I will show you. And what's important, if you want to use it, you would need to sacrifice something. Like, for example, I will drop the Master Rifleman in order to equip Grenadier and just equip regular rank 1 Rifleman, therefore losing some of the damage. And of course, Adrenaline expired. That's the comparison. It's still way higher on paper than other Anti-Armor or Blooded variants, but in practice, it's just a little bit higher. It's still higher, like those explosions do matter, especially with those perks. And now I have, yep, one-shot kill. You can see it's doing really well. Therefore, this variant for everyday use, it's not as great on bosses like Scorchbeast Queen or Air, as those explosions usually do not connect. But on regular enemies, the only downside, you can hit yourself accidentally and the radius of the explosion is only increased if you are using it in VATS. And now I shot myself. That's a downside. You can shoot yourself if you use those effects. This Grenadier, just a quick reminder, only works in VATS when we are talking about legendary explosive effect. Now, shooting without VATS, I'm not able to one-shot them, as this is this weird interaction with explosions and VATS, allowing explosions to like apply damage twice, like double up, and especially with a 2-shot effect, then you have 2 explosions, then double up in VATS. That makes a difference. Like you can see here, even with manually aiming for a headshot, after I have some adrenaline stacks, I cannot one-shot them. That's why I said this effect is for VATS, and you need this perk Grenadier, and you need to be careful to do not kill yourself. Without VATS, there is no one-shot killing. In VATS, there is. For example, now Torso, you can see I'm close to one-shot killing into the torso with 2-shot explosive effect, but I do need to keep a distance to minimize the risk I will kill myself. Alternative is using a Dance on your torso. You can use Dance on your torso combined with a Fireproof. That's a workaround for a self-killing issue. And next patch coming in December will reduce self-damage, therefore it will be even more valuable option. Oh, I almost killed the doggo. You can see that one tapping all the kills is nice. Life-saving wood. And that's probably everything you need to know about this weapon, about the lever action gun. I hope you'll be lucky and you'll find the one you need if you like to play a sniper or just a rifleman in VATS. Whatever you need, this weapon will serve you well. It is well-rounded weapon, very efficient in everyday use. And now I hope you enjoy this guide, and I will see you in the next video.